No, this is great. Yeah, Natasha Miller, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have
Yeah,
you here. Glad for you to be on the word.
yeah. This is going to be exciting. We had a conversation briefly before we hit record. Turns out you're crushing it. You've got multiple businesses. We all somehow have interrelated networks. So it's just got everything, all the ingredients to make the kind of soup people want for the day. Soup du jour, as they
Good.
say.
Uh-huh.
So with that said, I think the question I think always makes the most sense when talking to an entrepreneur is, Natasha, do you come from a family of entrepreneurs?
Hmm. Nope.
That's interesting. Okay, because you have multiple businesses. So
Yeah.
now the question is, how did you get to that point? Is it because you don't come from a family of entrepreneurs?
Well, it's going to be a little bit of a dramatic answer, so hold on to yourself. Yeah, we're going to just go deep real quick. I was abandoned by my family when I was 16 years old on Christmas Day at a youth homeless shelter. And when you have to fend for yourself at that young of an age, you either figure it out or you die, probably. And so I had some skills that I was able to monetize and realize that any skill that I had that was anywhere remotely close to going to be good, I would do and I would monetize. So I think if I had to really think about whether entrepreneurship was nature or nurture, I think I had to become an entrepreneur to survive.
Wow. Yeah, I love that. I love how strong and brave you are for just going into it and just talking about it, because I actually can relate a lot to that, believe it or not. It's one of those things where I can personally vouch for the level of digging deep that you have to go to become that person without a family. So for me, that's thank you for sharing that. You didn't have to. And so anyone listening who is a young leader, would be leader, can see that it really does take, just no matter the odds, no matter the obstacle, grit, as they say. And I think now that you've shared that, at what point were you able to step away from the survival of it to now I have to thrive? And like, because mindset plays a big role in whether or not you can scale anything. Is this accurate?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
right? So
I mean, I've been in a combination of thriving and striving. I don't know if the fight ever completely goes away. Not sure I want it to. There are some things that I leaned upon to fuel my fire of entrepreneurship and success that no longer served me, that were actually negative for me. And I never thought I could let go of it. But I had to, because it was physically hurting me and mentally and emotionally. And I worked with a therapist to like get over that mountain, and I'm on the other side of it. But that, I have an incredible life. I get to do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it. I get to be as creative and crazy as I want with all my business ideas and endeavors. But I have to make sure that people understand that, yes, I have gone from really horrible situations, both, it's a rags to riches story, both financially and emotionally. However, all day long, right? There's moments of joy. There's moments of imposter syndrome and doubt. There's moments of, starting to spiral back into thoughts that were embedded in me when I was younger. And it's not a picture perfect day all day long, every minute. And I just want to make sure that you can separate the gloss from the grit and the reality.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because you look at so many people now, it's like the Instagram family, right? We all know none of that's true, right? I mean, but people still continue to do it.
Mhm.
And, you know, I mean, I come from very humble backgrounds. I've come from a farm. I'm a farm kid, come from humble backgrounds. My parents were entrepreneurs. It's kind of what got me on it. And, you know, the military stuff did that for 23 years and then grew tons of companies alongside that. And, but it wasn't easy. There was nothing easy about it. And my opinion about
It's
it
no
is
fun if it's easy, honestly, but
there's nothing worth doing if it's easy.
yeah.
Because people like us need that challenge in our life, because that's what keeps our heart pumping every day. It's like,
Mhm.
where's the next target? Let me punch the next target down, right? and that's what keeps you breathing and keeps you alive, right? So I can't relate, or I can sympathize with your story, right? I
Mhm.
can't relate to it, but just in a different way, right?
Of course. And God forbid that most of the people listening to this had to suffer that low of an inflection point. And some people, you know, it's not a competition, but some
Right.
people have endured much worse situations than I have. But in general, I have turned some of this horrible stuff that happened to me into fuel for, success and dreams coming and achieving things that I didn't even think I had access to.
And that's a
Yeah.
great next question. What's your fuel? What fuels you?
Mhm.
What is that fuel? Tell us about that fuel.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
It's different now than it was up until 2019. And I would say up till 2019, which is a long time from when I was born, I was fighting to make sure that I was seen as a valuable entity, a valuable person, because I wasn't valued by the very person you're supposed to be valued by. And so, I created some incredible things because of that. But you can't keep creating out of a deficit forever. So now what fuels me is being able to give people the information that they needed, especially if they need it and didn't know they needed it. So I'm helping people to scale and grow their businesses by 50% or more. If you want to scale, if you want to, remain flat or just, increase a little bit here and there, I can help you, but I don't really want to. And then I also am teaching people, entrepreneurs specifically, the importance of writing their own story, their memoir, either or in addition to the subject matter or topic books that most entrepreneurs are doing. And I just released this. It's the story of my life on March 22nd, Relentless, Homeless Teen to Achieving the Entrepreneur Dream. The feedback and the relationships and the connectivity that I am experiencing with people I didn't know very well, people that I know very well, and people that I have never met before is incredible. I don't know, because I haven't written a subject matter or topic book yet. I think it's so much more impactful. So I want to show these entrepreneurs how to do it. I have a system and process for it. And I want to help them figure out what the publishing path is that's best for them, because it's very complicated and confusing. And then, of course, this book has now won 3 literary awards, but is a Wall Street Journal and USA Today bestseller. So I want to show them how to get there. And so giving basically is my answer. I want to give all this information. That lights me up.
Oh wow. What a value prop to shift from, right? Like from I want to be this valuable person to like I know I'm finally accepted that I am enough and now it's time to. That's such a hard move to make, coming from where you came from.
Right.
Being frank, I'm still in between that, it being frank with you. So I know what it took to reach over to that, and it's so exciting. Congratulations on releasing the book.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's available everywhere online.
Everywhere. I'm going to put it right here for everyone to see in the background. Yes. But I would say this: if you have any inclination to read the book, you certainly can buy it. You can buy the Kindle, but if you get the Audible version, I promise you there's an experience that you will have that is really different and really amazing. And I'm keeping it a secret because I of course want to tease
I
it.
was gonna say.
I promise you, you'll after the first or second chapter, you'll be like, wow.
You know, this interview so far has been a masterclass in storytelling. I
Yeah.
can just tell you right now, the way you present yourself, the order that you did things in, and your ability to pivot and shift. This is just me observing.
Mm.
I can see the craft and the time you took to chip away the unessential,
Mhm.
to really be who you are to narrow down your message. So I actually trust and believe that just based off those abstract elements, that the work you do with entrepreneurs to get them to that next 50% is the real deal,
Mhm.
because it takes chipping away at all the unnecessary to actually scale what's proper, right? So I can see
Absolutely.
that. And is this what Entire Productions does, or is that a whole
No,
different
Entire
business?
Productions is an event and entertainment production company in San Francisco. We do the wow and amazing, over the top, creative, fun events for Salesforce and LinkedIn and Apple and Google, and just name all the companies in the Bay Area that are, tech and huge. That is the company that I've had for 20 plus years. That's what landed me 3 times on the Inc. 5000 list. And
Wow.
I'm the recipient of, and I'm not sure if Entrepreneur Magazine is doing this anymore, but the Entrepreneur 360 Award. And, just all these accolades, which of course I was desperate for, to show my value and my worth. Honestly, this is something that is long-standing. Before even 16 years old, I was treated very unwell, right? Basically told by my mother that I was hated by her every day and that she'd rather kill me and go to jail than have to look at me. This is the message I got my entire life. So you can understand why these accolades and these awards and these designations were really important to me. They're still important to me. And I still have a part of that needing to be recognized. And I'm not sure that will all completely dissipate. It's less than it was. In fact, when I see that I have affected or impacted someone positively from the book, it's far more rewarding than the literary awards, the bestseller awards, whatever money is going to come from, the book.
Right.
Seeing the impact that's positive it's a drug.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a dopamine hit right there, right?
Mhm.
When you get something, it comes out, makes you feel good, it hits it. And I'll tell you this right now, I've known you for a very short amount of time, and you don't need accolades. You're an amazing human being. You have a great story, you have a great connection, you have so much good stuff going for you. And like my son says, Dad, just go be you, boo. Right. And right. And you got a lot going for you. I can feel your energy, your hit, your all of that. Right. And that's a rare thing. Right.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you don't need somebody else to tell you you're good, because you're fucking awesome.
Jason Miller, my
Yeah.
cousin,
Official.
probably.
And
Oh, man.
pardon the harsh language, but I'm going to say it how it is, right?
I use that word often. It's
when
very
you're-
colorful.
Well,
Every
you know
now and
what?
then.
You rarely run into people that really get it, right?
Mm.
It's a rare thing, right? People that really get it, they've been through a lot of shit in their life, and they've just figured out how to maneuver through it. And they've created this beautiful flower out of it, right? And they didn't just shrivel up and go, well, let me feel sorry for myself and, boo-hoo bullshit, right?
Mhm.
And
I think the expectation for me was that I would turn to drugs, alcohol, things that were very unhealthy for me. My college my high school counselors did tell me after I graduated, which I barely did, we thought we'd read about you dead in a gutter.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But meanwhile, I was studying classical violin while being abandoned and homeless. So nothing makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's just as they say, right? They give the hardest battles to the strongest fighters, and
Mhm.
I see that, and I'm really elated to see what you've been able to make of the ingredients that you were thrown, the hand you were dealt.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about one of your businesses. I want to get to the one specifically though that you help with entrepreneurs and helping them double their business or 50%. I consider that a double.
Yeah.
Now, what is it called?
The course, oh gosh, you're taking me. I usually talk about entire productions or memoir Sherpa, which is the memoir course. This is scaling beyond your first million. And really, I'm working with people that have 250,000 in revenue to about 5, 6, 7 million. That's where, at that point, people are usually at a plateau or they need like a strategic partnership. And I kind of hand them off to another organization. So I work one-on-one, but I have a course that I've developed, and it really is everything that I learned before I learned how to do it right, right? And what not to do. And then I was in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 businesses through EO. I studied at MIT and Harvard and have all these incredible advisors. And then there's that gut instinct that I think pushes me up over the top a bit over maybe other people that have had that education. And I've culled everything together and have created this course that I lead you through to help you. And it's everything I wanted, or I should have had the first 15 years I had a business, but I didn't know enough. Maybe I wasn't in the right mindset. Maybe I wasn't in the right place in my life to find those learnings and those advisors and mentors. So again, I really like, I don't know. I said something like little things that I tell people just as an aside. They're like, oh my God, thank you so much. That's going to make all the difference. Again, it's similar to when someone reads the book and says, oh my gosh, whatever it is that they have to say, it makes me feel good. The currency is the dopamine hit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I love that. And it's funny you mentioned EO. I got my start in podcasting by helping EO Global, EO Mexico, EO New York.
Ah,
And I think I worked with also Kalika Yap and EO
oh yeah,
LA.
the Wonder
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. And Dave EO 360, I think, as well.
Okay.
I actually cut my teeth in learning how to speak with CEOs from there.
Yeah.
So I owe a lot to EO. In fact, I met Cal Fussman, one of my mentors, through that. So entrepreneurship is just the thing where, and you're a classic example of this, and Jason is too, of like, you strive not only to improve your own lot in life, but you simply can't stand by and watch others who can be better not achieve their fullest potential at the same time. And it's just something that I think is so empowering about being surrounded by entrepreneurs, and the community it's not stuck to a vertical structure like corporate would be.
Right.
It's this horizontal global
It's this
network.
beautiful club we all belong to. Like it is like the best membership, just being an entrepreneur. And then when you find things like EO or, the various organizations that you can find yourself in or masterminds, I don't know, it's like hog heaven for me.
No, it's the real deal. So, in the interest of time, I want to do a few things.
Okay.
And I hope this is okay. Number one, I want to make sure, without a shadow of a doubt, people know how to get a hold of you, like what links,
Yeah.
website, things of that nature.
I would just go to officialnatashamiller.com to start your adventure with me, and everything kind of links from there. The book is available everywhere, but again, I don't mind at all if you buy the paperback, hardback, or the Kindle. That's cool. But if you want an immersive experience, get the Audible.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you make it in that direction too. I gotta learn about that, and I also need to check out the audiobook. Um, Jason, do you have any questions before I start gearing towards the end of the?
Yeah, I would just say that, it's been very, very pleasurable to have this conversation. And, it's not, we do a lot of these types of things, right? And you have a lot of them, and some of them are just like, yeah, well, that one was okay, so on and so forth. But when you really hit it,
Mm,
and this one really hit it. If you paid attention even just 5% through this, you would have picked up some really, really good things that are helpful for you, helpful for your business, to help you move the needle forward. And,
Thank you so much. That
uh,
actually brought
yeah.
the feelings of tearing up, but I'm going to keep it together here and prepare myself for the questions to come.
Yeah, no, you definitely have a presence about you as an entrepreneur that I think you're in the right place. What you're doing with your career, and which is why I think if a young leader or would be entrepreneur was listening,
Mhm.
what would you say to the younger version of yourself, or
Mhm.
to a young leader in general?
So, a young leader that may have gone through some, trauma. By the way, I'm learning this and I need to see the real data, but I'm hearing that 75% of successful people have had a traumatic life experience. It makes sense. But you know what we don't do is we don't wear it on our sleeves. So we can't necessarily tell. But I'm here to like crack everyone open, as you can tell. My advice to someone who wants to get ahead of in life that might have some setbacks is no one is coming to save you. No one. There'll be people around to help you, a little bit along the way, some more than others. But the thing is that you are most likely able to save yourself. And had I known that and stopped looking outside of myself earlier, I would have been a little bit further ahead emotionally.
I love that. You do have within your power, within your ability, the tools needed to save yourself, to
Mhm.
solve your problems. And you don't have to find it somewhere else. You were given what you needed.
Yeah. Not with a relationship, necessarily a business partner. You don't need someone to come in and just scoop you out. If you're in debt, you don't need someone to come in and wipe the debt off. There's ways that you can do it that gives you um, even a stronger core foundation.
It's the ownership
Yeah.
part, right?
Mhm.
That's what it is. When you own it, it's yours.
Mhm.
When you deal with it, it's yours. When you fix it, you can be proud of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is great. Um, yeah, with that said, there is a big finale question that I do like to ask as I
Uh-huh.
close things out. I hope you'll indulge me.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about it earlier too. It's like if you could have invited anybody here today, Natasha, and I mean anybody, dead or alive, to have sat here, joined the conversation, maybe even contributed, who
Mhm.
would you have loved to have had here and why?
There's actually so many people, but I'll name one, and that is a man by the name of Bobby Sharp. He is no longer with us, but he wrote the song that many of you will know. Jason will know. Phillip, not sure about you. It's called "Unchain My Heart." Ray
Oh
Charles and Joe
yeah. Oh
Cocker made it
yeah.
famous. Okay.
Oh
He and
yeah.
I worked together. I recorded 2 CDs of his music. I recorded him. He and I were musical partners for 10 years, and he was my non-romantic soulmate. And man, he would just be so happy for me to see where I have ended up. Not
Wow.
that there's not a lot more to go, right? But where I
Yeah.
am today, he would have really appreciated, and he would have really appreciated his hand in the things that he helped me with.
That's cute. Yeah, unchain my heart. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
the I know the jam. I know Ray Charles. I love Ray Charles. Godfather of Soul. Yeah.
Man, sing it, brother. Sing it.
Yeah, my version of that song is in 2 major motion pictures.
No way.
Yeah.
Ah,
The bank
Natasha, you're
job with
crushing
Jason
it.
Statham. Yeah, it paid for my daughter's private school in high school.
Yeah. Oh, this is awesome. Now I'm gonna go look for the movie. It's probably on Netflix. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Natasha, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Just a great reminder to get a hold of yourself, pull it together, accept your circumstances, and take a step forward. That's really at the end of the day what we're looking at. And thank you so much for inviting people to put the trust back in who they are and what they're capable of. It was a pleasure to have you on. That's my piece. I'm sure Jason has his own sign off.
Yeah. And I always say this, that we have 168 hours in a week, and you decided to spend an hour here with us today, and that is meaningful, right? So thank you for doing that with us. And I think we had a lot of discoveries here today that are going to be very good for the audience, and that's very appreciative for sure.
Thank you so much for having me, for choosing me.
Yeah. Cheers.